Good morning, everyone. 대리간저 슈된다 서저디 아니 사와 제고.
So good morning, everyone. As you can see, we have new cushions and also new tables. So Geshe wanted to throw a glamorous opening ceremony for the or invitation ceremony or inauguration ceremony, whatever you call it, to the new tables and the new cushions.
대단한 남지 통단이라 저완이 세직. 내가 가르치고 있네요. 선물 가르치고 있네요. 그리고 안 통단이라 저완이 토미기 아니 꼴롱 아니 담이 비기다 지금 준비했는데도 뭐세 지금 연구연자 디토랑이 지가시 식시죠 지스라.
We often say that there are two important activities, one that comes at the beginning and one that comes at the end. So the one that comes at the beginning, which is important, is to correct the motivation to be a positive and virtuous motivation. And at the end of our activities, we dedicate whatever virtue or merit we have accumulated in this way. So Geshe wanted to say a few words about the way that we perform those two activities at the beginning and at the end.
데리디자다 토미 꼴롱 용당도디 당한스 델야 가드이나 추코르시데고라스 추코르시데 잠발라 다 딕바사닝 마레 게워드고레 슬라원디 아니 르가 이성 딕바사탄 다 딘디망부 당한스 뒤따드 시데기여레스라 시데기여라스라.
So first off, with respect to the way that we correct our motivation, in general, what we do with our motivation is we become intent on accumulating or cultivating virtue as much as we can and to refrain from negative actions, negativities. After all, this is what we often speak about in terms of the way that we behave. We want to make sure that physically, verbally, and mentally, we behave in a way that is positive virtues, and in no way we create negative actions.
대자다 딘딜라기라기랑 아주 딘나 용니 다시서 마시나 꿈마 주바다 디바사 녀바사 루요바이나 당한스 섭섭 제거야지 차사로 왔어요.
And still, having said that, then when we come here, for example, and we sit down, we place a butt, you might say, on the cushion, it might be that we still continue to accumulate negativities. Something like that could happen.
데르다디 녜기 빼 칼레저스라나 안찬 두 시원디게 겐데부츠 참말로기 아니 딩아 세치 케고거레스 로 딩아 케니 카르치고레 비기게 공바치 아니 지 겐데부치 제디 소소 비기 갑투 베주 제바이나 아니 녀바사그레스 산지 좀 된디기 nembucheni ani rabjon la ya pigi ko yobje choksom sengi nalo la ya dinga di kechembucheni ani song yores tu tada ina ya pigi choy yoji choksom da changyo marda ina ya dinga di chu songcheni dro yores di nyeba kheyakche danda ina yores derwa.
So Geshe said that a few times before. He said that for monastics, for example, who come here and participate in the teachings, we use something that is called dingwa, which is that red piece of cloth that we put on our on a seat. The thing is that we have possessions, so things that belong to the community. So as such, there are things that belong to the, you can say to the general public or the community. And for monastics, if they damage things that belong to the community, it's considered to be a grave fault or a grave negativity. So then in order to refrain from that, we use that piece of cloth that is called dingwa, which is part of the 13 possessions or 13 articles of monastics. So once you become ordained, there are certain things that a monastic should have in their possession. One of them is the dingwa, and in fact, the dingwa, this red piece of cloth, is considered to be really important.
The dinza the big gendumba jikiro, gendumba jiki, gomba jiki, any ze, any kabdu launcheni, nyabasagiyana, and also ji Rabshon Mahimba jiki, and launchena, nyeba yoya di, the chiba chigaras, the chiba chiganza, and on the dichi kaji chedu, and the soundlodge tango dos. Labchini and Anzu Dan Soyagi, Colombier Mato, Anzu Deliachi, any Yushan to Tagi Wuchia, Sibuchia Chedu, Zawin Colondi Kiomaris.
And if that is the case for monastics, Geshe reckons that it goes to say that also for lay practitioners, a similar thing would apply in a sense that if you use something that belonged to the, in general, to the community, to the public, to a group and so forth, and you damage it, being careless and so forth, then that would also be faulty. So having that in mind, Geshe thought that it'd be nice to create new cushions to be used at the Gompa. So that was Geshe's idea or thought in coming up with this plan. So rather than thinking that we want to make this space become really beautiful and glamorous and really attractive and so forth, Geshe's way of thinking was that let's create something that would be used by the monastics and also by lay practitioners, and also will use that in a way that will not damage the community's property.
Den and the savage sir teleyangan samaki meringorene mantalaji komunga chus and shendep gavne sam shabayna tachik sususu pigi and droson tani and chik sesha yudi and susu longchela nyeba the masuna kedroganza that this sogo dus lauchini angan's den severe shizongi and rigashigi droson shuk chembo tansons. Yinaya nigrevalaya tsamalogi, kazi tambo shudi saying tsamalogi, and ditolaya, and shende kanzu susu nyeba ke chedore mado, chipizolaya pesha yonch, in minds, and dindin na yubi, reva years. Kezi na mebayana, and gomu chus jongas tus, and the deng chedu insulani, Shuzolo Pivaina, Deni Soni, Susundina Yoni, Pigi Denti Pejuchi Galia, and never di Yajadama case the Latum the Kanji, and never Mayon Yelia, Yajadama Pendoyoris, Kansan Susu Jundros Pigi, and Zetelia, Susu Jundros Tanyawenza, and Dig Tony, Susu Peju Choyagi, Wancha the Mosne. So
then Geshe came up with that idea, and he thought that if we'll take it as a common project, so that people contribute to that, so whatever people could have afforded, $5, $10, the people actually some people put actually much more than that into the general fund that was used for the making of those cushions. Geshe thought that if people participate in this way, then even if a cushion is damaged, and since you can say that that is something that came from, that was sponsored by you, or that was paid by you, or some of the money went to the making of that, then faults or negativities would be reduced.
Or did it? Dinza or the Jig Colon Kenning on the Zemashizongita, Kashigi Pedita, Robert Chui Sarisra, message payment with dancers. The Kashi Musa Yonchin, Pigilia, and it's Samiari, Yabjaja, Doyari, and it Dikalaya Chickpea, and it Chungamuda, Shindot in the Noella Soba, the Kanji, and on Samalo, Rubaru Chichini, and it Dent drew Yori, and it Dandy Sholaya, and it Jose Tiki. Jose Tiki, that and in Droson di and Excel down ane payuni zo chene ane matsulaya beguchi ane rob ki kali shwe javni ane be delaya kepsan chi mebi toni korana kan droba dhamado kepsan mebi toni matsulaya sujo suyo banza teteri tsamalun drubiyores.
So then Geshe came up with this idea and he put it forward, and there were quite a few enthused people that wanted to come around and help. So some people went down and bought the raw material. Then a few people came together to do the stitching, the tailoring and stitching and cutting and so forth. Some brought food and drinks and fruit and so forth. So anyway, took some time to make those nice cushions, and they're ready. And on top of that, we also have those new tables that were made by Rob. So they were sponsored by Elsa and Palyun, or the Nyungne group. Okay, the Nyungne group rather than just Elsa. So yeah. So at least Elsa was involved in rallying people for doing that. Anyway, so Rob was created those tables as no, it wasn't done for profit. It's something that he did as a volunteer. So we have both new cushions and also new tables.
The things that any the junte yoyo bares because na that any shooting the thing dele yon tikaya there di kolon sambuchi mato tagas dele yon peshi de mares taro pigi churji nyamlenji chedu ta yon de gonza ta peju chiadi tanda dembaji ko chando di jachi jada mares ro.
Anyway, that was done with a positive intention, with a virtuous motivation to come here, to be able to use that and to offer that to be used for sitting and studying and so forth. So of course, all of that was done with a positive intention.
Terdeni ta dering anzu di ta ko gonje da masuna khasar da pigi di chige zamala ani kazing anzu ge demba di pendu chudeng sondevchik ngi yigi thado da kema an pendu chudeng sondevchik tya chires an dini ji gom test gom kama khashi jile gom jaya tochik.
So what Geshe wanted to do today is like a small ceremony for the sake of the new tables and the new cushions, is to recite a text that is called Illuminating the Threefold Faith. A text that was composed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which is praising the 17 Panditas, the 17 scholars of Nalanda. So we're going to recite that, and likewise, Geshe thought it'd be nice to do a few minutes meditation.
But
what do you want to do first? Should we first of all have tea, or first of all meditation? What do you guys reckon? Tea. All right. Otherwise, you'll die of thirst before you get to meditate. All right.
It's not good.
So we have verses that we use for tea offerings. I think that they're here. Let's see. Yeah. Lama Sangye Lama Chodeshi Lama Gendunte Kunjepo Lama
메도드 직 최고스라. 직라데 메도드 직 최고스기.
Karela. Okay. Now in Geshe, in the consecration ceremony, we'll also do some recitation and we'll scatter some flowers.
So So when
Geshe is going to scatter flowers, then keep in mind that it's not for making the place dirty and messy. It's actually considered to be a good thing. No, so we're doing good things. We're not messing up things.
Tabasum Dengumin Zumbaye and Dubin Sojin and the Yonganshin, Tatu Shidu Chayus and Divan to the Chosu Jivi Tashi Sho. Tabasum Dengumin Zumbaye and Dubin Sojin and the Yonganshin, Tatu Shidu Chayus and Divan to the Chosu Jivi Tashi Sho. Tabasum Dengumin Zumbaye and Dubin Sojin and the Yonganshin, Tatu Shidu Chayus and the Tudin Chosu Jivi Tashi Sho. Chuji Jabo Tsungabe Chunzo Namba Pewala Gijin Sama Shewa Tunjen Malun Samarjo Dadan Shinji Tusum Dandriven Soni La Tene Java La Santrabai Temba Yurin Ba Juroji. Thank you.
All right. Now it's time to have tea. If you have anything else that you want to say, if you prepared a speech or something, you can do it now. So did you prepare a speech? Kathy? Nothing prepared. Rob? Just wanted to put you on the spot. Have you got anything to say? Tiger skin cushions. Tanda magal de ngagoyo na cosa de ngacho geresa. Karandi Dima se dici po mai bayan di kuna kupia chose dila sama socho geresa.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so so after a short tea break, we're going to do a recitation of the text for the 17 Pandits of Nalanda. Perfectly arisen through compassionate wish to benefit beings and more exalted even than the gods, you have reached the supreme level of protection, abandonment, and realization, and guide beings to liberation through teachings on the pen's origination. Mighty Shakyamuni, son among teachers, in devotion I pay homage to you. You brilliantly clarify the meaning of reality itself, the ultimate intent of the Mother Padambaramita, with profound modes of logical reasoning based on dependent origination, founder of the middle way tradition of the supreme vehicle, prophesied by the Buddha himself. Noble Master Nagarjuna, to you I pray. You were the foremost of his spiritual heirs, supremely learned and accomplished, a master of all the infinite schools of philosophy inside and outside your own tradition, and the glorious crowning jewel of all who follow Nagarjuna's approach. Bodhisattva Aryadeva, to you I pray. And clarify the wisdom intent of the Aryas, the ultimate meaning of dependent origination, as well as the profound and crucial point concerning million, nominal, and imputed existence, and reach the level of supreme accomplishment. Noble Buddha Palita, to you I pray. Great Pandita who founded a comprehensive system in which extremes such as the rising of true entities are refuted, and valid logic and commonly perceived other objects are accepted. Acharya Baba Viveka, to you I pray. You developed and elaborated upon the complete path of sutra and mantra, skillfully teaching the profound and vast, the middle way tradition of appearance and emptiness, in which the two extremes are dispelled through dependent origination, the mere fact of conditionality. Glorious Chandrakirti, to you I pray. You skillfully revealed the assembly of fortunate disciples, the most wondrous and amazing path of great compassion, in so many ways and with reasoning both profound and vast. Bodhisattva Shantideva, to you I pray. Founder of the tradition which skillfully combines Madhyamika and Pramana, teaching the middle way path according to the capacity of disciples, and introducing the Buddha's teachings to the land of snow. Great Khenpo Shantarakshita, to you I pray. You brilliantly set out the stages of meditation according to both sutra and mantra, combining the view of the middle way beyond extremes with the unity of shamatha and vipassana, and clearly reveal the unmistaken teachings of the Buddha in the land of snows. Noble Kamalashila, to you I pray. Guided and careful by Maitreya, you work brilliantly to further all the Mahayana teachings and skillfully set out the approach of vast conduct. Founder of the tradition of mind only prophesied by the Buddha, Noble Master Asanga, to you I pray. You upheld the tradition of the 7 treatises of Abhidhamma and twofold emptiness, and clarified the philosophies of Vaibhashika, Sautantrika, and Vijayavada, most excellent of scholars renowned as second of all Buddha. Acharya Vasubandhu, to you I pray. Master logician who granted the eyes of intelligent reasoning by revealing hundreds of ways to arrive at valid cognition, illuminating the Buddha's teachings with incontrovertible noble Dignaga, at your feet I pray. You understood entirely all areas of logic, both inside and outside of your old tradition, and through the path of reasoning brought a definitive knowledge of the profound and vast approaches of Dasantrika and mind only, skillfully conveying the marvelous approaches offered by the Dhamma. Glorious Dhammakirti, to your feet I pray. You settle like the lamp which illuminates the text of the ornament of realization and the meaning of transcendent wisdom passed down by a Sangha and his brother, in accordance with the Madhyamika tradition beyond all extremes of existence and not existence. Acharya to you. As prophesied by the Buddha, you explained the mother Prajnaparamita, and according to the instructions received from the Buddha, clarify the 3 mothers, the supreme scriptures of transcendent wisdom. Acharya Haribhadra, to you I pray. You brilliantly summarized the meaning of the vast Vinaya collection, according to the tradition of Savanism, and explained the Pratimoksha supremely without mistake. Supremely disciplined and learned Guna Prabha, at your feet I pray. You gained the precious treasure-like qualities of the threefold training and brilliantly explained the meaning of the extensive scriptures in order to preserve the flawless teachings of monastic discipline. Supreme holder of the Vinaya, Shakyapratha, at your feet I pray. You imparted all the profound and vast teachings given by the Buddha by explaining the path for beings of the 3 levels of spiritual capacity, and caused the Buddha's teachings to flourish within the land of snows. Kind and precious Lord Atisha, to you I pray. Through these prayers of mine made with a mind of vivid and unmistakable faith, to these most brilliant of scholars who, like ornaments, enhance and beautify the world, and were the supreme sources for many wonders. May my mind be blessed so that in truth, may I be blessed so that I plant the foundation for the path to freedom. May I understand the fundamental nature of reality and the meaning of the 2 truths. Gain certainty about 4 truths and how samsara is perpetuated, discontinued, and through valid cognition, develop stable and lasting faith in the 3 jewels. May I be blessed so that I come to master uncontrolled bodhicitta, together with its fruits and mind of renunciation, seeking the goal of perfect liberation, in which all forms of suffering and the causes throughout, and a compassionate wish to protect all beings as limited in space itself. May I be blessed so that I arrive easily at a definitive understanding of all of the profound point of the path of the transcendental perfect, And the Vajrayana through studying, reflecting, and meditating upon the meaning of the great pioneering masters' classic works. In life after life, may I always find the perfect situation and take up the threefold training. May I work for the good of the teachings, just like the great pioneering masters of all. And through teaching as well as through practice, may I maintain and enhance the transmission and understanding. In every community, maybe the more and more great scholars and practitioners who avoid entirely all unethical and mistaken forms of livelihood and devote their time to study and reflection, teaching and meditation, so that the whole world is enhanced and made beautiful to behold. Through the power of this, may I swiftly traverse all the paths and stages of the complete approach, combining sutra and mantra, to reach the level of omniscient Buddha, spontaneously benefiting myself and others. And may I continue to live wishes long as space exists.
Thank you. Tananzo gom di shayekan dendang tembachik salta vindas ro.
Ni digala?
Tichilana kalikalana ro. Semuda jan. Tananzo gom shuji de yumara.
Now we'll do just a brief meditation, and Geshe will give us a few things to meditate on as we go. So to begin with, as you sit comfortably, you can imagine or think to yourself that you're sitting not just in an ordinary place, but you're sitting in an adorned and decorated celestial mansion.
Ani gombadio sagi ne tagara imba Nalanda garden pe ani chishin du yutung wigi ani pendu chuding konyela sobo tinia anchi meter chu sagi samla ya tini gombadi ki yo sagi ne tele ya ani sati hachan kwenyambu ani chik tsam tsangja imba di ki tele ya tini gombadi Dunia dedi ani toxin yiyor. Jablon su dedi ani toxin sum yiyor. Ani chi gin dodi senda yimbalaya chi goda gekon tozo pigi ngumik do yimba. Ani chi sheta shinto tamak ani shego yodeyo. Ro yeyong ta chi gekon tozo pena gekon dues ani o tindiyo deyo o tindiji gomge dasra.
So you can visualize that you're not just sitting in this space, this gompa, in an ordinary manner. Think that it is a celestial mansion. And outside of this celestial mansion, just in front of us, there is the Nalanda Master's Garden, so beautiful, with the representations of the Pandits of the Nalanda traditions in their actual form, beautiful and pristine. And this place is completely leveled, equal, and clean, completely pure. And that you're sitting in this celestial mansion, the main part of it consists of 2 floors. And another floor crowning its top. It's made of stone, and on each side of the wall, on its 4 walls, there are windows, 7 windows to each side.
Odirida teni bigi dungi ani ye cholaya wogi toze tambugi ye cholaya ani chik sanjomden digi song pigi poti jada je ani tengyur poti nije dunchu sa chik zubigi ani chik hongi jewe tamba yong zobagi ani chik song yong zobati ani penzu tinala ya ani Wielding ani penzu chik kom sujo tela ya ani jizun drama nye chik zubi ta chik pigi lamo yong zobigi tsande sagi drame laganchik kom.
And think that to your right-hand side is a library containing all the teachings that the Buddha gave, arranged into 108 volumes. And then an additional set of the commentaries of great masters explaining the words of the Buddha, consisting of 270 volumes of teachings. All of these are to your right side. And to your left side is a shrine for 21 paras.
Ani diniya digin dunia ani kenza pi ta chik che shind yidong wege ani kenza di ani partok zula kangi di ani gondram par di yeding ki kenza chikom diniya yon di ki bi zula kangi gol leba ta ani go ye ni la ya ye chola diksari ye chola ya ani sipa kolo pi 다치 rumu namba imbalaya anchi ngos shudeba yoncholaya ani tende yana chuni gi chende gi pe dachi ngos yodeba an tindichik comes.
And then when you think of the way that you approach this celestial mansion, this temple, if you think of what's depicted on the walls at the entry gate to this celestial mansion, on the wall there is a beautiful painting of the wheels of existence, depicting beings from different levels of existence and the 12 links of dependent origination.
Teni bigi shongo gojen digi dun le lebata ani goni de ranshin giya an che yongwa ani go cheba da zulak na lo la ya chik ani donga ki ani chuji da ani gem ched dog de yo bachik sums.
So then as you visualize yourself approaching this temple, right? So you're making your way from the Nalanda Master Garden to the entry to this temple. You see the depiction of the wheel of life with the 12 links of dependent rising. As you approach, the doors open up and invite you in.
Then nanola ya lebata pe ani pena tachi gyakhen do di mi go ni ani go par de pena ta meter sum songa ya rimbu yeding pa ani meter ni sanga sa tinji ki gyachimbu ji nanola ya tachi gyasar sama ki teni shude kwenyambu yabu ti gala ya ani shuchi ni go shenye tenzuni ichene juk mulubi sonjuk ki rimba sejo te parkitik ani chik ndonga ki lam nyamling ki rimba chanza komne ta mi gyata mambu ani tus ani shude bachik koms.
And as you visualize yourself entering through those doors, you see in front of you a massive hall, being 33 meters wide in one direction, 25 meters wide in the other direction. And it is full with people, monastics and lay practitioners alike. And all of them are meditating, generating in the mind stream the qualities of all the stages of the path, beginning with the way to rely upon a spiritual teacher, all the way up to the stage of mantra.
Teniya yondi tanda tanga de desa ki samdele ya ani chi shukchi ani towa gyachewa pigi ta chi chi shundu wigi ani shukchi tindi chi ki tola ya ta choju gyawa sedan chi pigi danyi ani mi namba chendeba ani gonglo nyushi tsanga sajile ya sunbigi namba yu dibi ani ngaran tsugu ta chuzon digi dabo ani lama sobar muchi 이 넘버 임발라 아니 지 동아 그치 아니 체 심바치 딘디치 goms.
And in front of you, around the area that Geshe is sitting now, you could say, you see a vast and extensive throne. And on top of it is sitting the Lord of the Teaching, taking up the aspect of the 25-year-old Lama Zopa Rinpoche, our spiritual director.
딘디니야 슈트 디기 딱집 다가랑라야 아니 치 텔린 토아직 아니 피다직 rumbuchin dramming genjawe tri pe and zeshin yidong wegi ani shukti ti tolaya ani generis koshalomba ani jawarmuchi ani ngus ani shuk devachik or tindiji comes
And behind Lama Zopa Rinpoche, there's another throne, beautiful and decorated by many precious jewels, higher than Lama Zopa Rinpoche's throne. And on top of it is sitting His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the embodiment of Chenrezig, Arya Avalokiteshvara.
Teni di kujabdelaya ta chosham pigi ani chi shin pigi ta chi rumbuchi litri pigi shin ingi ani ta hajang zewu soja chosham digi kilaya ani tembo tumbe ombo pe ku benang kamba tokzi ni sosoro chi pe ani chi 단다란 송 제모요 안 삼성기 아니 사는 냠산 제딩인기 아니 때문에 tumbi왕 비다 구 아니 직 베기 외식시 딘디 아니 기텔이야 덴조텔이야 딘디치 comes.
And behind the throne of His Holiness the Dalai Lama is the altar made of wood. And at the center of the altar is a beautiful and big statue of Buddha Shakyamuni, the size of 2 floors, sitting in a cross-legged fashion with a mudra of pressing the earth.
데니다 당하르조 제르즈기 추적 비기다 제르즈기 체유비 추적 디기다 아니 땡조 아니 제르즈 자동 전동 비기 컴버 토지 찍기 락점 여댕인 안지 라마스 버무지 고만만시기 아니 꾸니 베 아니 송우스 전댕인기 고지 아니 때문에 tumbe왕 비기 차이 쳐들이야 아니 슈기여바치 goms.
And think that to the right of the statue of the Buddha, which means that if you're looking at it from your perspective, it would be from the left, on the left, is a statue of Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara, exactly as Lama Zopa Rinpoche has envisioned.
Teni yuan chodeleya ani judun jambiya bigi tachi ani sherab radin abdingi ta be chishin du shansha tedingi kutse ani chenrezi kutse de nyambachik ani be shene ani tombani gi ani rangda draw shimbachik or dindigi kuchik goms.
So then the statue of Avalokiteshvara is slightly smaller than the statue of the Buddha. It is, let's say, more than 1 meter, but not as big as the statue of Shakyamuni. Now, to the other side of Shakyamuni's statue, visualize a statue of Manjushri, wielding the sword of wisdom, symbolizing for us the meditation and emptiness.
Teni Pawajanazigi the cha ye chodeleya ani kutse tele test penata fitchik sodachik ma yodenge ani jangolama tsungaba chimbo ani chik donga ki che pe ani song shimbige ani kuchik yobachik goms.
And to the side of Arya Avalokiteshvara, Chenrezig, visualize a statue of Lama Tsongkhapa, 1 feet lower than the statue of Chenrezig, representing for us a master in the complete system of sutras and mantras.
Teni jidul jambi yangi cha yun chodeleya ta gyagar pendu chubdiyung gipe danyi li chubdewa ani tsu shen dengi ta chojipande adisha chigdeleya ani kadam shode yue dengi ani kutse tan jerum chig kutse de nyamba chig o tindi chig comes.
And to the other side, the side of Manjushri, visualize Atisha, for us embodying all the masters of the Nalanda tradition, the 17 masters, singing together with Ekadampa Stupa. The size of Atisha is the same size as Lama Tsongkhapa.
Teni ta di chok soroj di chotelaya ta ji karsawata kadum gyubigi lama yons zobati di cholaya pilaya jik susu ma korum nashi chini ani ya chojumlaya des jik sigdivi number yotingi ani lami hanso jik goms.
And as you imagine yourself facing the altar, to the wall at the wall to the left side, visualize depictions of the lineages of the Kadampa masters, completely filling the wall.
Then di chodeleya jik chozo di uzuni cheni ta tanda pardo bigege ani lama giwishini samgi mijaba peni ani chik cho nange tsamalo ani di chodeleya shukchini tanji nashin chini ya ani chik siksa di tempo tumbi wangpo tsubi ani digideleya chik ani sikwi namba yodewa o dindi chik comes.
And at the opposite wall, the right hand side wall, visualized the paintings of all the teachers, the spiritual masters, the virtuous friends that we hear at Chenrezig Institute, give teachings at Chenrezig Institute. All of them are depicted on the wall, gazing and beholding Buddha Shakyamuni.
Then di chon ma cheni ani gyawa kundin tambo je gendun trabani cheni ani kundin chushi parke ani chik shedan pe tandaran song chema yon samsong ki dindi ki pe ani chen lebi ki ani shedan tiki di ani dinima shama yobachik comes.
And on the walls to your left-hand side are tankas depicting the lineage of the Dalai Lamas, beginning with the first one, Gendun Drup.
Then di chon ma penjing kundin tambo je kedo rumuchini chini penjing kundin chukjik pardo ani penjing kundin rumshi gi shedan di tanjin naji anchi yobachik goms.
And on the opposite wall, visualize tankas of the lineage of the Panchen Lamas, beginning with Kedrubje, 14 tankas hoisted on the opposite wall.
Then megi sur niya ani chik gyachin shiri ani chik cholaya zu ani chegyon gombu chawduba then chik chodelaya tamjin chugya kongi zu kibigi ani chegyon kada didi pigi tachi gotun su ani tembadan drobi utundu ani sik chini shugyabachi goms.
And also visualize that at the entrance, right after you enter this space, you find depictions of the 4 great Dhamma kings. And also Dharma protectors, 6 arms Mahakala, Damchi Chugil, and other protectors that are looking over the teachings of the Buddha, protecting them.
Then Diniba God Tawandigi, Togalaya, Toga delaya, Sulakanga Yanto delaya, and Chik Cholaya, and Jaurum Chigi, and Sumchon Chanzang, Yodeva, Tenalaya, Jaurum Chigi, 2,000 big chick, and it tempered the return to be 2 minutes Shuyabata, Yon Cholaya, Naranso, Kadisum, the Zavilama, Lamasovermichi, Sumchon, Tenaji, Tenalaya, Lamasovermichi, Tedej, Shuyaba. And taught Lamanami, the Simchon, then Tembayachi, Gomes.
I think that on the top floor of this space, there is a staircase at the back of the Gompa leading up to the top floor of this space, having room for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, residence for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is always making aspirations for the sake of all living beings, wishing them to be happy and well. And adjacent to it is also the residence of Kyabje Lama Sopa Rinpoche.
Oh, Dindigi Zulakang, Tenda Tembi, Tungur Jangi, Jindados of Tangashi, Chini, Yavashi Gomrachis, Tingi Malam Damaris.
And also think that all the patrons, the sponsors, the students of all those teachers are gathered around this space. And with that, Geshe will make some prayers.
Thank you so much.
Milam. Sorry, I should have said without. Think that it is like a dream. So this visualization is like a dream.
Other that the Dindiji young missing what sound in the Marisra. Young missing what sound in Anzogi Martas. Di Yonya di on some lo Tamsik Doxa Chichi. Any so the Lega Karcheva in the young, any Tembachiri, any Piggy Simjin Chi Telaya, Chick Pendit to a chick, Chona, Sambi, Colon Tindiji kitchen, and Charlene and Donna, Choji Java said and Chibi, Gonzolaya, any Gabker Yori, Sigdon Nangari, Chilin Juguri, and Gansugi, and Chawati, Chitugres, Lamingomba, Druptugres.
So thinking about it like that, visualizing like that, is not just a dream. It can actually come true. In that, first of all, when we consider ourselves, we can recognize that all of us have the same goal. We're working on the same thing. We have the same intention. The intention, the wish to be of benefit to others. And if we then think that as much as I can, I want to act in a way that is beneficial to others, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions will continue to take care of us, continue to confer the blessings upon us. They will continue to observe, to look over whatever we do.
Tani 당연히 까마카시도 같이 까마뉴슈 하스도 아니 같이
Chito Karandra. The Tanda Lamrin so Suwaina Jerimbuche Lamin Nenjo then the Tuna
라민 nenjuste 제르무지 라민 nenjuste 아니 믹스만 친구 식사 아니 람룸만 넘때 안간 칼라사도 다다시.
So since we have meditated for some time on this space as being like a Celestial mention, and we don't have a lot of time left for this session, then rather than going straight into a teaching session, Geshe thought that we can still continue to be in the same headspace. So we will do a recitation of Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga, then we'll do some recitation of the Miktsema verse of Lama Tsongkhapa, and then we can easily, comfortably make a way to have a lunch. So with that in mind, let's do the recitation of Lama Tsongkhapa Guru Yoga. So I'll put it on the screen in front of us. Okay. So before that, let's do a recitation of refuge and bodhicitta. Sangye chodan tsogi chonan la chanchu badu dani kyamsuchi dagi chiswegi betsonan drolam penshi sangye drupa sho sangye chodan tsogi chonan la chanchu badu dani kyamsuchi dagi chiswegi betsonan drolam penshi sangye drupa sho Sangye chodan tsogi chonan la chanchu bardu dani kyabsuchi dagi chunsogi betsonangi drola penshi sangye drupara sho Ganden la jin gongji tuga ni rabga jose bongju chunzenze chigi jebo gongjen lo sanch Sedan jeba nende shizuzo dunje nanga sunzi bede Jizun lama jibi zungarchin dalo tebi sonung shenjot Geshe geja shusuzo shijin jogon jawe lojudu kesan nawe jinju leshis Tabe beji lamin zibi gun tongdu tembi tongden la chanzi yon jaya nazo medot Tishang dube nasa chichazo, wujong yiru chochen janzo di, sono shincho jela chobali. Dagi tome tune sabaye, lunga yi sume ki chujit. Chabar domba sumji mendun cho, ninin joba chabu sosos. Nimi dundu mandu jubla zun, chidil bambi tanjur dunyos. Gombo jeje labjin zambala daja samba tabe yirang Jizun lama damba jenum ye chugu galan jenzi jinjin Chidaran zambi dujin zambala sabji chuji chaba abdu Dagi chini sabi gewandi tendan rowa kunla kamban Chabara jizun losan chabaye tembe nyimbo rindu sashi sho. Kine kardu? Menda pia. Ani yamena sawadaba.
Sawadaba teacher. Menda pin try this push.
All right, let's do mandala offering. Sa shi ki Chun si le to Tam ri ram ling shi ni de ge pa di san ge shi do mi te Namda Shila Parasho. By the merits of having offered this mandala to Lam Tsongkhapa and his two sons, may I, my family members, and all sentient beings be able to meet, practice, and actualize the teachings of the victorious one, Losang Drakpa, where the morality of an eminently pure way of life was courageous in extensive conduct of the sons of the victorious one, and accomplished the two stages of bliss and happiness. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Ganiyatayami. Misama masako nanga to lila mabache gitsi kashitwa. By the force of having fervently requested in this way, hollow beams of white light are emitted from the hearts of the perfect pure Father and Sons, and combining into one, enter my crown. White nectar, the color of milk, flows from the opening of tube of white light, cleansing all my sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, obscurations, and the imprints without exception. My body becomes as pure and clear as crystal. So we go now to the recitation of the Mixima verse. Mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang, kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang, kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang, kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa. Mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe yang. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe. Kanchen kembe tsugyen tsungam pa, losan trabe shabla sowa de, mime zewe techen chen rezi, jime kembe wampo jampe.
Kachin kimbi zujin zungaba, lo sanja be shalom sawande, mimezeve deji jenrezi, jimi kimbi wambo jambi, zungaba, lo sanja be shalom sawande, mimezeve deji jenrezi, jimi kimbi wambo jambi, kachin kimbi zujin zungaba, lo sanja be shalom sawande, mimezeve deji jenrezi, jimi kimbi wambo jambi yang, kachin kimbi zujin zungaba, lo sanja be shalom sawande, Mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe yang, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe yang, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, Mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe yang, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe yang, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, mezeve deji jenrezi, jime kimbe wambo jambe, kaji kimbe tsugin tsunga pa, lo san chabe shalom sowa de, Mimezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan, Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Sin to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Mezeve de Jerizi, to make him your Mojave, Kajikim Bizukin Zungabal, Santa Beshala Sovan. Serv Kondo Java Zongabe Tencho Shinyam Gosu Zebende Javanga Belamsan Tenya Kechik Samyan Dobar Majuroji Lamrim Lam Tichikten Shasamare.
All right, so we're going to finish our session for today with the recitation of the final Lambrian prayer. For my two collections, fastest spaced out a mess from working with effort it is practiced for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds, wisdom, eyes blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas guide my practice, using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion. May I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings, with the points of the paths as I've discerned them. May I uphold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. My heart growing out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or one spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace. And may the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time by even this graded path and enlightenment completed due to the wondrous practice of the Buddhas and their sons. May all humans and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of the lives from the glorious paths praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtues practice, may it always be assisted by many enlightened ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Thank you.